Hello, everybody. My name is RyunnEldred, and I'm here as always with my co-host Razgriz, the BossFoss, and we'd like to welcome you to the R&R podcast, where you can find us on all your podcast streaming services like iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. But you could also catch the vidcast version here on the RyunnEldred YouTube channel, where you can see both mine and Razgriz's lovely faces as we go through this, as it looks like David's staring heavily into his phone. Oh yeah.
No,
No.
no. I'm looking at the. So my chair is broken. I can't. My chair does not stay up.
Mine
It'll.
too. I need to replace mine.
So I will attempt to lock it in place, and then I will just barely lean back, and then the chair will start to give a little bit, and then there'll be a loud pop, and then the back of the chair will just.
I was like,
So I will sit here,
detail.
and you'll watch as I'm sitting. The chair is just gonna slowly rock back, and at a certain point, it's just gonna break.
We just watch you eat shit. Just you're there 1 second, gone the next. How you doing? How's it been since the last podcast episode, which was filmed like half a week ago?
Yes. Well, we were gonna record the second one immediately, but somebody had to do some rendering.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I got the wife, picked her up from the airport from her flight from France, and it's just she's been living the dream. Playing video games and relaxing all week.
Yeah, since we had the week off of our actual jobs, which has been great. I'm excited to go back to work tomorrow. Weirdly. Feels weird when you're excited to actually go back to work.
Makes one of us. I'm not. I'm not that excited.
I am. I I love being able to stay home and just kind of do what I do, but at the same time I also like going to work and feeling useful
Right.
to each.
To each their own. Yes. I simply just do not ever want to leave the house. And it's just a personal thing. I like to just stay inside my own little bubble because I'm safe here and I'm comfortable.
Miss those quarantine days.
I do a little bit, yeah. I
Waiting
mean,
for the next global pandemic.
I never got to actually truly enjoy them though because at the start I was working at GameStop, and because I was working at GameStop, we were actually deemed as essential employees, so I had to go to work. Even though
Me too.
we were also shutting down the store. So um we were literally hanging around playing on our switches waiting for people to show up to pick up packages as we were also slowly packing up the store. And then uh, after moving down here, worked for the post office, essential, delivering mail and whatnot. And then by the time I left the post office, we were kind of out of the quarantine. So,
I didn't get a single break during quarantine because I worked at Square Chair Pizza and they were deemed essential because we were food providers. So had to work all through that, which
yeah,
sucked. It was weird. And then I also worked at a gas station during the pandemic, which the only thing I got was
sometimes
like
I
an
forget about
increased
that.
hazard, which I got hazard pay for it, which was great. But Square Chair Pizza didn't give anybody hazard pay. We didn't get anything during the pandemic. They're just like, oh yeah, store's closed, so we're just gonna be in here and setting up for delivery.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
miss those
think
pandemic days.
if the if we were to ever actually go back into a pandemic right now, I don't think we would ever shut down like we did.
I don't think
Like
so either. I
that
feel
was
like the shutdown.
genuinely a once in a lifetime thing.
Every generation has that one key focal point of their time that they're going to focus on. Ours is going to be a weird mix between the pandemic and 9/11.
I don't know, man. We're living through some unprecedented times right now.
That is fairly true.
For example, and I don't know if uh, the people watching this might be aware. I don't know if you are. The cartel is currently burning down a city in Mexico.
Blurning or burning?
Burning down.
I did not currently know that.
Yeah. So, uh, my understanding, I haven't looked too much into it, but my understanding is the government killed a cartel leader. The cartel itself is mad about the mayor. And so if you look up Puerto, oh god, now I gotta get the name right. Let me get the name is Puerto Vallarta. You'll just see videos of the city burning as the cartel is literally setting the city on fire.
Damn. Makes me want to play Wildlands.
Yeah, well, we totally can. I'm down to the last few people of actually needing to eliminate. Which reminds me, my wife was getting on me about that. She was saying, she's like, David, you keep jumping between gaming, like different games. She says, how can you do that? She says, I always get so confused at what's happening. She says, you can't just like start a game, play it until you finish it, and then go on to the next game. I'm like, well, no, it depends on the
ADHD
mood.
brain.
She goes, how many games do you actively have a playthrough in that you have not finished? And I said, I don't know. I have lost count. I said, I know I need to finish. I've started and need to finish Persona 3. I've
Same.
started and need to finish. Well, I need to catch back up to where I was on Persona 5,
Same.
which that for me, the reason why I'm not playing Persona 5 is a couple reasons. One, I want to actually beat 3 first. And two, I don't want to have to go through everything again right now because I had already did it and then it got wiped. Thanks, David. I have the altars that I have a playthrough going of, which that one I'm going to have to remember how to do.
Isn't that the game where it's like multiple copies of the same guy?
Yep.
How is that?
It's great. I thoroughly enjoy it. I played it was on Game Pass, and I know I've enjoyed what I have played of it. I got to play more of it. And then like technically I beat on the PlayStation 5. I beat Death Stranding 2 and Ghost of Yotai, but I'm going back to them to try and 100% them. Ghost of Yotai, I'm actually on New Game Plus. I need to beat the New Game Plus for Spider-Man 2 as well. That one I had platinumed Spider-Man 2, and then they gave the New Game Plus, and I was wanting to do that.
I still need to play it one time through.
I have a playthrough of ready for this. Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil 4. I have not touched 5, 6. I have a playthrough of Biohazard, and then I've beaten Village.
Don't forget, we're also halfway through Operation Raccoon City.
Oh god, yeah, and then we have Operation Raccoon City. I do have in my possession, or at least now, as of today, I own Resident Evil Requiem. Though in Xbox, I'm looking at you on this one. I used my points, and now on my points, if I use 90,000 points, I get $100 gift card, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to do that, but I didn't redeem the $100 gift card first. And I screwed myself over a little bit because I clicked on use my points and it used 70,000 or 79,000 points. I think 70,000 points to pay for $70 of the game.
So you have just the base version of the game?
No, that was the deluxe edition.
Oh.
Because the deluxe edition was 80 and so it paid for 70, and then I had to pay for the extra like $10, which was fine. I wasn't too bothered by that. But it didn't occur to me until after I had hit pay that if I had just used the $10,
I know, I've been
sorry,
curious what keeps popping in and out.
it's
Yeah, what is
it's a
that?
Rayleigh's bag.
Ah, okay. I've been seeing it like flicker behind you, and I've been curious.
Yeah. When I used my points, but had I used the 90,000 points, I would have $20 still left, and I wouldn't have had to actually pay anything. So I'm like, oh, son of a, you got me, Xbox, you got me. So
I need to build up my Microsoft points. I've been working on it.
I'm up
Been
to,
work.
I have 40,000 points now.
I to hit basis with my small talk. I am currently running through Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 2, 3, 4. Me and Whiskey and Bride just started 5, and we're halfway through the second chapter. We're going to be hitting 6 after that. I'm not playing 7. Did beat 8. I don't currently have Requiem pre-ordered, which like kind of hurts the heart a little bit because it's Daddy Leon and just so much. But I think I'm gonna be waiting until April to get it because I have a birthday that's coming up this month, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna do the right thing.
Yeah,
You did not.
you're right. I didn't. Got you.
No, wait, hold on. My phone just went off too. You did not.
I did not.
Okay. I was like, I saw the message pop up in the Zoom call, and I was like, there's no fucking way. That quick.
I
But
know.
no.
Pretty
I
quick, man.
One of my friends' kids has a birthday that's coming up, and he's really excited for a game that's coming out at the end of this month, and I'm gonna do the right thing and care about other people than myself like I normally do. Um, I just now today, as of filming this, finished my Valentine's Day playlist, the Catherine Full Body, which is a game I really enjoy playing during the Valentine's Day because one thing I really think Atlas West does great is they have very good narratives, and I find Catherine to be a very good love story. And even though I think this is the fourth time I've played through and beaten the game, I still learned a bunch of new things about the game.
Right.
So I didn't know Catherine had both a novel that like details the events of the game, but it also has a graphic novel that takes place like the week before the game, and it follows Catherine with a C.
Okay.
So you get to see her relationship with Steve, the guy that stalks Vincent midway through the game, and is the one that actually helps you at the beginning. You get to see her relationship with him, but you also get to see how she appears to everybody, which I find
Interesting.
interesting, and it adds like a whole level of detail for playing the game. Like with Steve, she appears as like an African American woman to his interests. As Johnny, he appears as Catherine with a K. For Orlando,
Interesting.
it's Orlando's ex-wife, and for Vincent, it's her actual true form. So she doesn't conceal herself or alter herself for Vincent. Which,
Interesting.
knowing that little subplot detail also furthers my perspective that Catherine with the C is the canon choice for the game.
Right, because she's not changing her appearance for him.
She's not changing who she is for you. She's also the only character out of the three characters where the majority of her endings are happy endings. Which
Yeah.
I also find interesting because you would assume the canon ending would be the girlfriend you have at the start of the game.
You would think, yeah.
You would think.
But I mean,
But
you
she
did
has
cheat on her.
emotionally. Catherine with a C wasn't really real.
That's a bit of a mind truck on that one.
A little bit, yeah. I don't know. It's intriguing because it's like I always thought Catherine with a C, like during my first few playthroughs, was like the bad choice.
Right.
And then it's like upon realizing with the full body remake of the game that Catherine with the K, your good ending and the good ending, you end up marrying Catherine with a K. Bad ending is she breaks up with you and the game ends. The
Right.
alternate true ending, Catherine still leaves you.
Oh.
Whereas the good ending, you go to hell with Catherine with a C, and you and her become rulers of hell.
Nice.
The bad ending is Vincent just ends up alone and Catherine leaves. And then the true ending is well, I shouldn't spoil it all for you because you're gonna go through and play it.
Go for it.
Catherine with a C turns back time, meets you in high school, and then you guys go from high school to the current point in time in love. And then the game ends with you getting married and having kids, and you get to see
Aw.
the kids. And then
Aw.
Ryunn, Catherine with a Q, because how many
Yeah.
different ways can you spell Catherine?
Right. So I've done Catherine with the Q's ending. But go ahead for the people
Which
who are
ending did you get for Catherine with a Q? Because there's
uh
two endings for her. There's the true ending and good, and there's true ending, good ending, bad ending, I guess.
I would like to think I got the true ending, but I
The
definitely got the good ending. It was a positive ending, so
Okay, so as long as there's a positive, because there's the bad ending where it's like you still support her, but she's just doing fine without you. There's the ending where you and her get married and you find out that she's like an alien, and then you support her music career after you fight her brother, who is the archangel.
right.
So confusing. Gotta love it.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I feel like Catherine with a
That
C.
was I remember fighting an archangel, so I think that was the ending
Yeah,
that
then
I
you
did.
got the true ending then.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I don't know. I love it. I love games that include romance options. They're
But
fun. They're always fun
I
to go
love the
down and
fact that
explore.
base game, you have your girlfriend, you have
The
Catherine
succubus.
with a C, who's succubus, and then what do? You go with option C, obviously. She wasn't even included.
It wasn't even included. Well, there's also option D. You could just be by yourself and either be depressed and live in shit or you go to space, which, fuck, I want to go to space. Where's my option D in real life?
You know, I'm sure they need people to volunteer to go to Mars.
I would if it
Be
was
the first
free.
be the first content creator to
Go to
live
Mars.
on Mars.
I don't know. I feel like Mark would do it.
Mark would do it in like hands down. Like he would do it for free just for a chance to go into space, even if they're like, "You're gonna die up there."
I would go though. I'd go.
Anyway, not to sidetrack, because I know that this podcast you actually have an agenda that you would
Do
like to
we?
actually hit.
Do.
That you want to actually hit a specific topic.
I literally just shot my shot. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, we have an actual topic today, which
Because
kind
we
of
also mentioned it last podcast.
we did because the whole last episode was just a side tangent.
Yes. Speaking of Undead Labs, sponsor us.
Sponsor us
Put
under
us in
sponsor
State
us,
of Decay
sponsor us,
3.
sponsor us, sponsor us, sponsor us.
Please. With respect, please put us in State of Decay 3.
Give us something. Give us something. Make us voices. Make us dead.
Oh,
Whatever.
well, we were talking about the radio station. I can do kind of like a listening to the late night radio. I don't know. You got to give me a script, but like
You gotta give me a
I can,
script.
I can do it. I'm not great, but I can do it. Let's do it. That's a different game.
Do it.
All right, sorry.
So,
Side tangent over.
our topic that we were going to talk about last episode that we pushed to this episode stirred from one of our side conversations of what other studios do we think could handle IPs?
Yes.
Which I think we started the conversation with Fallout. I think that's how we got on the topic of it.
Maybe. I mean, I know we had talked about Fallout. So I forget exactly what started the conversation. I know it was me. I'm the one who had brought it up, but to fill in everybody else, we were essentially as disgruntled gamers. Like, hey, oh no, we were. I think we were talking about Ubisoft. Uh,
Yeah, we're talking about Ubisoft, and
and
we're
I was
talking
saying
about who
that
would take over Splinter Cell.
yes. So, I was saying that
I remember.
we should give a different company a chance at Splinter Cell. A different company a chance at like basically. And Ubisoft, I do love you, but you become very like focused on aesthetics and like, oh yeah, microtransaction. Like we're gonna get you to have this character, but for like $3 more, you can get this really cool sword. It's like cool, but like
Can I
okay,
earn
I don't
it in
like
game?
yeah. Is there a way I can earn it or uh Ghost Recon is a the Wildlands is a Ubisoft title, right? I'm looking
Yeah,
at you, I promise.
yeah.
And
Everything Tom Clancy is made by Ubisoft.
that's what I thought. And like a lot of those things are now, oh yeah, you got to open this in a box. It's like I don't want to open a box to try and get like the specific like camo or be able to play as this person. Like I don't want to have to
I don't play
have
video games to go and gamble my real life money.
yeah. Like if I'm gonna gamble, I will go to a casino, and I'm not great at gambling, but like I don't want to do that. So we were talking about who do we think would do better with certain IPs, or who we think, yeah, like who should we give certain IPs to? Now, I don't I don't think that there's anybody else who could do Grand Theft Auto like Rockstar. Like there's companies that could take a shot at it, but Rockstar has a particular way with their games. So like Red Dead Redemption and Grand Theft Auto, I personally don't think that anybody else could really do it like them.
No, but that's also because they specialized in that open world kind of life simulator.
Now, on that topic, let's jump to a first game that I would like to talk about. Though, if you have, I know I'm kind of like taking this and running away with it, but if there's like a
Oh no,
specific
take
thing
it
you
and
want,
run.
so let's talk about because I'm arguing that Rockstar should be the only ones with Grand Theft Auto. But you're saying that they're the one they specialize in like the life simulators. There's other companies that have games on the life simulator, right?
I mean, yeah, there's Sims.
Okay. That's
That's a life simulator.
sorry. My immediate thought was, okay, well, like we should probably take Sims away from EA right now.
Being the fact that I believe they just canceled Sims 5, yeah.
Well, I mean, EA is about to undergo some major restructuring. Xbox is undergoing some major reconstructuring right now, or not major, but like the head of Xbox and the head of Microsoft is gone.
Yep, and now it's going to be under somebody who was the head of the creative AI,
I think so, yeah.
who also was like COO of DoorDash or something,
Oh, that I
a
don't know.
board member of Home Depot.
But back to the thing.
Which I'm
Do
not
you think
saying that like she's not going to do good. I do want to
No,
preference that real quick.
I'm incredibly curious like what's going to happen now, and I'm hopeful. And I do know that some people have reached out to her online and been like, "Hey, like don't forget the games that have made Xbox and like keeping them exclusive, like keep Xbox with an identity." And she responded with "Hear you." So I'm really like, I hope that's positive.
Hope
We'll
that's a
see.
I hear ya.
Um, sorry guys. ADHD to the max. We're
He also
all
worked
over the
with
place.
Meta.
Yeah. So back to our topic.
Yeah.
I'm I don't think anybody else could really handle Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption the way that Rockstar does. And yes, they have kind of like specialized in it.
I could see CD Projekt Red taking a crack at it.
Okay. I mean, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I can see that. But I I don't think that they should have it. Now, there's a different title that I would love to see CD Projekt Red take,
What's that?
and that would be Watch Dogs. Because with Cyberpunk, you got hacking. Watch Dogs
Yeah.
is hacking. So I think that Watch Dogs would thrive with CD Projekt Red.
Yeah, I would be able to see that. It'd be weird seeing multiple studios handle a connected universe because again, Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed are connected.
So give CD Projekt Red Assassin's Creed as well.
No, Assassin's Creed should go to IOI.
Fair.
Same
To a
thing with
degree.
Splinter Cell.
Splinter Cell for sure, IOI. Uh, again, we love you, Ubisoft, but you've dropped the ball way too many times right now. I don't know. Like, okay, I want to see. The only thing that I've seen from IOI is Hitman, which the Hitman franchise is good. I'm not a fan of the fact they got rid of the cutscenes for like 2 and 3. Like it's more of like a story, from what I remember, like a story like page where it's
Yeah,
um
I feel
I
you
just
on
left.
that.
I we're gonna see it with 007. So I want to see before I really like house the opinion of whether or not they should have Splinter Cell. I want to see how they handle 007. Um, what are your thoughts?
I think 007 is going to be phenomenal. From what I've seen of it already, I think it's going to be a very grounded James Bond experience, especially since it's telling like an origin story for James Bond. I
Right.
think it's going to showcase that they can dive into more than just the stealth gameplay because there are action set pieces that are very reminiscent of Uncharted.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hopeful. I'm excited for it. I'll be playing it when it comes out. I think they would do really well with Sam Fisher in Splinter Cell, especially since, with Hitman, they do give you the option to just go loud.
Yeah.
But like with Splinter Cell focusing heavily on stealth, I do think IO Interactive kind of put the patented stamp on stealth. And I
Yeah.
think they would be able to handle the tactical warfare of Splinter Cell. They would be definitely able to handle the stealth of Assassin's Creed. I don't know so much on like the historical background or like what they would do with it, but I think they would be able to bring Assassin's Creed back to a stealth uh dude, I am so spacing the word right now.
It's
It's
okay.
happening to both of us. We're hitting that mental
No, no,
fog.
you're good. So
Not
I
reconnaissance, but renaissance. That stealth renaissance.
I understand what your thoughts are, and people listening, please let us know what you also think. What we're saying, but I don't I don't know about giving Assassin's Creed to IOI, and because Assassin's Creed is more than just stealth.
Yeah.
So kind of basing off of where they've been going, and I understand like this has been Ubisoft's like direction. Like yes, it was kind of like okay, kind of blending in with the crowd. But now it's a sorry, terribly sorry, guys. Oh, it's only 5:45 p.m., not a.m. Like there's an open worldness to Assassin's Creed that I just haven't seen from IOI. Like they have very detailed maps, which would be great. It would
I
be
was
good
gonna
for
say
Splinter Cell.
it could be reminiscent of the original Assassin's Creed where it was a bunch of expansive mini maps, kind of what IOI already does with each of their locations. So for instance, like you got Masyaf, Jerusalem, Eric, the Valley from the original Assassin's Creed.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just loaded in like that. Let's not say it's like one huge open world, but just semi open world spaces. Because let's be honest,
Okay,
do we all truly love open worlds or do we love very expansive open world maps?
open world to a degree. I mean, it depends on the game. So
So
like,
I do think semi open world is the way to go because it
all
gives
right.
you variety.
Well, yeah, semi-open world for sure. The thing I'm worried about is like I'm thinking of more recent Assassin's Creed titles. Like they reinvented what it means to be Assassin's Creed with Origins and like the RPG styles. Origins, Odyssey. You're shaking your head. No, are you not a fan of
I,
the
God, it's
Valhalla?
I love the games in of themselves because I love the fact that we finally hit the time period pieces I wanted to cover in an Assassin's Creed game. But when you make it to where you use the assassin's main tool, which is always from Assassin's Creed 1 all the way through to Syndicate, has been a one hit kill weapon when you land, granted, when you land a stealth assassination because you could fight with the hidden blades, and the hidden blades wouldn't be a one hit kill. But when you're perched up or you're hiding somewhere and you assassinate, it should assassinate. It shouldn't stab and wound. Now, granted, I get it. Not all stabs to the throat would kill a person. But
Well, so it I will make the argument that with the RPG ones when you do actually have the hidden blade because uh Origins I don't think you get the hidden blade until like halfway through the game.
yeah, you don't get it till like midway through.
Odyssey I don't remember getting the hidden blade.
You do get a hidden blade. Because I remembered it being in Odyssey where I felt that frustration and I kind of quit playing Odyssey because I wasn't even going after a main boss. I was just clearing out like one of the bounty targets and I stealthed through the entire area. Did not get caught, went to go stealth assassinate, stabbed him in the neck, and just like a half inch of his health bar went away.
So I do understand what you're saying, but like a lot of times when they're doing the stealth, it's not always to the neck, like it's to the chest. And like unless you know exactly where to hit, and even still, like it might not actually kill the person. Or uh, like when we were playing Origins, there was multiple times that I would stab somebody with the hidden blade, and it would just be like to their stomach. Now, if again, if you know where to hit, maybe, but
But
it's not
if
going
like
to.
I ran
It's not
up
going to
and
be like it
randomly
instant.
right into your stomach, the odds are you're gonna have a slow or fast bleed out.
Right,
The
I'm
worst
going to
that's
bleed.
gonna
Like
happen is you're
I'm not
gonna
arguing
die
that
of
like
like sepsis or whatever.
right. So I with the RPG ones, I do think that they were taking that into effect of these people are not like used to fighting with the hidden blade. Not like Ezio, whose entire life essentially was building up for it.
I love how
So
we always
I'm
immediately go to the go Ezio Auditore da
okay,
Firenze.
but like literally, he revolutionized Assassin's Creed.
He did.
Um, sorry, but like, okay, Kenway,
Which one?
Edward Kenway.
Okay. Which one?
Um, he was a pirate, not so much the Hidden Blade master. Like he's more going for the sword and like yeah, he's good at close combat, but not like
He wasn't a
necessarily
trained
stealth.
assassin.
Right.
See, when you put it in
But
that
they're also
perspective,
not wearing like they're wearing like pirate clothing, so it's like you know light cloth. Anyway, yes, go ahead.
when you put it in that perspective, it does make a bit more sense to me than thinking about it in more of an ignorant, this is how every game's been, this is how it should be. Because, like, with Origins, again, you're not assassins, you're magi. Magi? Which I
Yes,
believe was just, like,
you were
Egyptian
just
for Secret Service.
you were just like the protector of that valley.
So the concept of assassins and like perfecting the art of killing probably wasn't there. So the hidden blade was more of just a tool, a hidden knife. So it
Yeah.
makes sense in that aspect. And then the same thing with Odyssey with Alexos or Alexandra. And then Ivor as well, I guess, yeah. Even though Ivor does get trained by assassins,
I mean, if you want to, you can literally just go
enable
into the
it.
options and be like, "Hey, if I get you with the hidden blade, like it's an instant kill."
Yeah, I do like the fact that Ubisoft kind of listened to people like me who had that kind of outrage and did do that for them. I haven't played Shadows yet. I really kicked myself in the ass for it because I want to play Shadows. Shadows has been the setting and time period that I've been excited for Assassin's Creed to get to since I was a wee little lad.
I have been enjoying it, um, but those RPG elements still kind of exist,
Yeah.
and I don't I think I enabled the settings so that way if I assassinate with the blade, it's an instant kill. I don't remember, but it comes down to the thing inside the Assassin's Creeds, Watch Dogs Legion, the thing that or Far Cry's, the thing that Ubisoft is doing that I'm not a fan of, and that comes down to the micro. It's really getting down to
Microtransactions.
microtransactions, and so that's kind of why I started the idea of who do I think would do a better job with these titles, and then I remember arguing, not to pick on Ubisoft the entire time, uh, Fallout. So I love the Fallout series. Uh, I was not a major fan of 76. It's kind of grown on me now, but
That
I
is a
don't.
lot of people's perspective for 76. Is not a lot of people liked it, but it grew on them.
But the reason why it grew on me was more so of being able to play it with friends.
Especially
Like,
once the lobbies got less PvP.
yeah. But there's still a part of me that's like, I don't know if Bethesda should hold all the power on Fallout. Like, I kind of want to give Fallout back to
Obsidian.
Obsidian.
I would
More so
love
because
to see
I
Obsidian
want a New Vegas too. But
a New Vegas too, or even a New Orleans would be great.
I mean, like taking into the fact that Interplay turned it into Obsidian, essentially, kind of. I would want them to control like the West Coast. So if it's a Fallout game on the West Coast,
It's Obsidian.
Give it to Obsidian.
Yeah.
If you want to be on the East Coast, uh, Bethesda can have it. But I do
And if
love the
it's a
fact that
Fallout in Germany, Machine Games. No.
well, okay, so that that was that was actually a topic that I think me and you had talked about was, but I can't remember who we said um What franchise would we give to Machine Games?
Um, fuck. Was it Far Cry? I think it was Far
I
Cry.
think it was Far Cry.
I think we said
Sorry, Ubisoft.
Machine Games would do a good Far Cry. Because they did a phenomenal Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones
And
is
I
good.
did not
I did
see
enjoy
that
it.
coming. Especially given like the Doom and Wolfenstein style of gameplay, they really nailed Indiana Jones. And I think they would do good with a Far Cry 2. They would do an amazing, like, just the set pieces, the mechanics to it.
Yeah.
The run and gun aspect of like Wolfenstein met with like a Far Cry setting would be phenomenal. Especially in an open, like, you took the aspects that make Far Cry great, like the open world aspect, the like multiple bases to take over, and you throw that in with the run and gun style of Wolfenstein or Doom, it's gonna be fun. Even if the game was just narratively shit, the gameplay for that alone, I feel, would make up for it.
To a certain degree. And this can be a topic for a different time on this part, but I do think uh like you can have fantastic gameplay and a mediocre story, but at a certain point, what are you laughing about?
Well, at a certain point, you just need to know what the game's about. You need to
You
stop testing new ideas and know what you're doing after 5 entries.
okay, so like you got the idea, you got the story, but yes, after like this guy,
I had
if
to.
at a certain
I was trying
point,
to find a
like
way to set that up.
if you've been playing the same game, like you got to have an idea of what is this game going to be? Like what's the gameplay going to be? Where's the ending going to be at? Like if you're planning on doing a whole this is going to be a rage podcast now. I agree with Mark on this point. But like if you're doing one of these mascot horror series where you're like, okay, you enter the plant, you have this main objective. At a certain point, you are going to need to get that main objective and not just be like, okay, well, I entered the plant and then I continue to fall down. Okay, now we're doing this. Okay, now I'm doing this. Where's your motivation? Like what is your
I
motivation to do all of this?
I see that perspective. And I'm gonna try to be as non-biased as I can because I do genuinely really love Poppy's playtime. But I feel like with each chapter, the main objective rightfully changes because each game focuses on a different aspect. Now, if Poppy's Playtime were to do, once they're done with however many chapters they're doing, they release the full game where it's like start to finish, and then they kind of tweak minor things through each chapter to make it run more fluently. I could see that. And I do agree with Mark that between chapters 1 and 2, once 3, 4, and 5 hit, it does kind of get that sense of like what is the goal. I find myself
Or like
constantly watching back through previous ones or watching game theory because I lose the focal point of the story, which I also have to remember Poppy's playtime, and it's something that Mark doesn't show on his channel, and I don't think Mark has done, is the story of Poppy's playtime isn't just in Poppy's playtime. You have to do the ARG, you have to do the asymmetrical horror game. There's multiple components and aspects that lead into the overarching story of Poppy's playtime. Like fuck, you have to do the map that that Mob Studio, I think that's the name of the company that does Poppy Playtime. They released actual maps on both Roblox and Fortnite that are canon to the story of Poppy's Playtime that furthered the plot in between chapters 4 and 5.
all right, that's cool, but
When you're
there's no
going
like
from game to game, I get that you need a cohesive. If you're looking at just chapters 1 through 5, like there is no real tying knot
well even
to what
so
you're supposed to do.
But he's more getting at is when you're starting 5. I mean, you're running, you're trying to get away from Huggy Wuggy. But like, what is your motivation for even staying there?
The fact
Like
that you're
your
trapped.
goal your goal was not is has no longer been to get out of the plant.
If I
Like I think
remember, what it was you got a letter in chapter 1 that asked you to go to the plant
yeah. I
after the
think it was like to
shutdown. The
find
proto
somebody or something.
Yeah, you're supposed to find somebody, which it later got confirmed that it was the prototype wanting you to release Poppy to get all the wheels in motion for everything that's going down. But it's like I feel like it very much did not focus on the transitions of that. It was like, look at all these toys, props, chase sequence, chase sequence. Here's the little imaginary keys of the chase sequence that everybody loved about chapter 1. Oh, story's done. You fell deep into the plant, story's done. Chapter 2, searching around the plant. Ooh, chase sequence. Here's another chase sequence. Oh, now there's the mummy long legs. Chase sequence. Oh, all right, you're on a train. You're heading out of the plant. Oh, what's this? Poppy's blowing up the train. You're falling deeper into the factory. And they don't have a cohesive thing, and it goes to the point of it's kind of like BioShock. Your character in Poppy's Playtime, which you don't even know who you are to begin with. Like that is something that does bug me about Poppy's Playtime is we have no idea who the playable character is. Were we an employee? Were we one of the the Children Genius program people? Like who are we?
Right.
Um but God, where was I going with this? I just brain farted. You don't know who you are during this whole thing, and the story changes from game to game to the point it's like, would you kindly? You're just
Right.
blindly following orders because Poppy tells you to.
Right.
And
And
then
that's it.
Poppy gets taken out of the equation for chapter 5. So, what is your, other than basic need of survival, why are you following Grundy, whatever the fuck the new mascot is?
Grimlet, I think is. Well, so Poppy is in chapter 5.
I haven't made it that far. I'm still halfway
Yeah.
through Jack's video.
So I will say she's in chapter 5, and you should actually like watch it.
I'm going to watch it because I, again,
Uh,
love Poppy's Playtime.
I don't want to say too much because I don't want to actually spoil the game for people. But what I'm getting at, and if you watch Mark's rant, which I do agree with him on, is like as a player, what is the motivation now? Like chapter 1, go to the plant, we're trying to free somebody, some really fricked up stuff happened. And then it's 2 is like, okay, there's a lot of weird things that happen in this plant. And it's just as the chapters are going, it's like, okay, this plant is even bigger and deeper, and like there's some really
Horrific.
messed up things.
There's
There's some
really
really messed up stuff
messed up
they're
stuff.
doing.
But it's
There's a lot of
more, the
people like,
game is becoming more of a trauma dump than a game. Because it's just, I think, and again, totally biased opinion here, I think they're trying to capture what made FNAF good, which was simple gameplay, really dark, mysterious lore. And Poppy's Playtime kind of leans more into that dark, mysterious lore with every addition. They're just like, oh yeah, you thought last game was bad. Child experiment, even worse. And it's like, it's gone from a factory to like a whole underground facility mining. Like,
yep,
how in the hell did the factory go from a normal factory to this expansive, like, underground prison, underground, like, mining facility? And it's all secret to the general public?
right. Like at a certain point, the believability is gone. And I love the fact that when we started this topic that you brought up as a joke, you were defending the game, and now you're on my side, kind of
Oh
agreeing
no,
with me
it's
of like at a certain point, it's like, okay, you're taking this further and further, but like, what is our why does our character even care? Like, give us a reason to care. Were we in fact one of the original scientists that like this is all of our fault?
see
Or,
what they should have went with was there was a scientist that was really close to Poppy, but they ended up having the character killed off and turned into one of the creations, I believe. It's like implied that the character became a creation. Poppy does like put his name badge on his desk and everything, implying that the character is dead.
Mhm.
They should have made that the playable character, because then that gives a believable excuse on why you are so adamant to help Poppy.
Right.
Because if you were one of the employees, no matter what section of the factory you worked at, you know the hour of joy. You know what you survived by either not showing up to work that day or being fired or whatever. You would know beforehand why you shouldn't be in the factory.
Right.
So it like thinking about it now, it makes sense to it not being a factory worker. Because again, why the fuck would you go back to
Now
monstrous toys?
this is going to be a slight spoiler, but chapter 5 we do finally see the prototype. Like, we actually get to see what the prototype looks like. And the
More than
prototype,
just spindly legs and
yeah,
long
and the
claws.
prototype, uh because it's the specific scene is the prototype is talking to Poppy with us at the table. And that's the extent of what I'm going to say on that part. But essentially, the prototype is asking Poppy why she brought in an outsider, which gives me the impression that we are not the prototype does not know who we are. And if we were a one of the scientists, the
We
prototype
would
would
have
know
known.
us.
Yeah, the prototype would have known us. If we're anybody even closely associated with Poppy's playtime, the prototype would know us.
So why are we there? Why should we care? Like, yeah, we've had multiple games, but like, from the main character's perspective, why should we care?
And it's not to say that like the studio that's handling the game didn't do a good job narratively, because I do find like the world of Poppy's playtime is very interesting. The child
Absolutely.
experiments, the toy monsters, God, every single game, they kill it with the character designs. The inside
Character.
outables are fucking amazing to look at. They're grotesque, they're cool,
Oh,
and
you
it's
haven't
like,
seen them in the video yet, have you?
what do you mean?
You actually see them in the game.
Yeah, the outables.
Yeah.
I've I haven't seen the hair creature yet. Where I'm at in Jack's video is he did the kind of like the VR style of like looking into
Oh, yeah,
Huggy
yeah. Okay.
Wuggy's memories, and now Jack's trying to lure Huggy Wuggy using like the monitors.
Yeah.
That is literally the last thing I saw, which also I gotta say, for how much they use the Huggy Wuggy chase sequences, that does not get old for me because he is such a fascinating thing to look at.
Right.
It's I love it because he's on one hand he's so adorable. And on the other hand, he's like, oh, I would have shit my pants and died horribly.
So, and this is not just talking about what I'm about to say. This is not just Poppy Playtime. This is also Garden of Ban and any of these games that are releasing is like, oh yeah, one, two, three. Going into it, I want to know, does the developer actually know where this story is supposed to be going? Like, have they mapped out, okay, chapter one's this, chapter two's this, chapter three will be this. Do they know
Where
what
the
they're doing,
story's
how
going.
they're getting there? Or are they going, okay, well, we just completed chapter 5, now we're going to be start planning what's happening in chapter 6.
Which I feel like that's where the game's at now. I feel like Poppy's Playtime was probably set up to just be a 3 chapter game, kind of like Amanda the Adventurer.
Yeah, so it's and I think that's an issue with these games is they start to see dollar signs. They start to see, okay, hey, we're kind of getting popular, but with the original design, like there's no endpoint like needed.
Yeah, because I
With
genuinely thought this was supposed to be the last game. I feel like I remember Mob Studios saying, again, I think it's Mob Studios saying that chapter 5 was supposed to be the finale. And then I think you were the one that told me yesterday that the game ends on another cliffhanger,
yes.
which half of me is split because I'm like, yay, another chapter, something to look forward to next year as they do these yearly releases. And then another part of me is like, fuck, another chapter. Like, I just want the story to kind of be over. I want to see the next great thing.
Yeah. So they did leave 5 off with a cliffhanger. I didn't see
Which
anything in
makes
my
me
very
wonder
brief.
where the hell it could go from here.
Yeah, so
Granted, I haven't seen the full Let's Play, so I don't know what all
I
happens.
would finish the Let's Play because it does kind of give you a clue of okay, this is about to happen. But it's just like those of you watching and listening, I know we went off on a random tangent here, and I do apologize and thank you for bearing with us. We also would like to hear your thoughts. I got to remember that we're also recording. We're recording, right? Okay.
Yeah,
All
we're
right. It
recording.
was
We're we're, we're
it
live.
wasn't popped up anymore. I was just double checking. Um, but like I don't to wrap up my thought because otherwise I'll just start going in circles.
The best part.
I don't think that they have it planned out.
I feel, knowing nothing about what happens in this game, but knowing that there's going to be a chapter 6, I feel like it's going to be a big war between Poppy and Prototype. Because heaven forbid, because my mind just went to this. What if there's a greater threat than the Prototype? And the entire time, the Prototype's just been trying to get Poppy on his side. Because fuck you, game theory, but game theory has it in my head that there's been a looming threat. Because even though the Prototype, yeah, bad guy, harvesting parts, killing other animals, he has been from chapter 2 on trying to get Poppy to understand him, to join him. So there
Right.
has to be something that the Prototype is either A, afraid of, or B, knows there's something else in the shadows. Because then it's like a low gain situation with no matter which way you look at it, low gain with Dragon Age or low gain with Fable 3, knowing the greater threat turns you into the bad guy. Now, granted, I have no idea how this game ends, and this could be just me rambling on about something I know absolutely nothing about, but
I mean, okay, do you plan on playing the game?
do I plan on playing Poppy's Playtime?
Correct.
Um, there's a part of me that wants to get each chapter on Xbox, but I'm also extremely hopeful that they're gonna do a unified set.
Okay. What I'm getting at is do you care if I actually tell you endings?
No, I don't care.
The ending. So the chapter will end and it's a massive chase sequence of you, Poppy, and Grimlet are taking the train because you're trying to find the backup of this uh
The boss from
ser-
4,
boss from 4. What was the boss from 4?
he was like a computerized version of like one of the head scientists.
Yeah, you killed him in 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're trying to find a backup of a different thing, of something that the prototype is trying to hide because it's this kind of like a weakness thing. The train crashes.
Of course.
Poppy and Grimlet jump off. You jump off the plane. The train crashes, seemingly killing the prototype. Prototype survives. You start running to a door. Prototype grabs you, stabs you, and puts you in the goo that you've been trying to avoid. And this goo is the goo that like transforms people. You get pulled out by Grimlet, who informs you that the prototype took Poppy, and you end up then kind of like stumbling in. You find the server room that you were looking for. You turn on the backup. You have to do two-handle thing, and then the doctor is back. That was killed off.
Yeah.
And he says, "Oh, well, isn't this an interesting turn of events?" And then
Sawyer,
the chapter ends.
I believe, was the doctor's name.
So Sawyer's still alive, or he's backed up and now.
Yeah, because if I remember right, Sawyer was the one that did a lot of the experiments on the prototype and on Poppy.
Yeah, but that's not what you were looking for. It was kind of like oh my god, this person's back now.
But you have that goop in an open wound.
You did, yeah.
So does that mean we're gonna transform, or is it just gonna go nowhere from that?
I don't know. I mean, so when you
die, do they make it like a key thing that like the goop is on you, like?
So it's throughout the entire thing, it's talking about this goo and like this how bad it is, and like
because that's like Schwarzenegger's gun or whatever it is. Chekhov's gun.
Chekhov's gun.
It's like Chekhov's gun.
Like you were stabbed from the back through the front, and then the prototype drops you in, and when you die, it goes like a black screen. It's like, we still need you, or you need to do this. Get up, and then you're restart. So it drops you into the goo, and you're underneath the goo, and you can see like bubbles. Like clearly, your person's now drowning. And then it fades to black as like you hear Poppy talking to you. And then it hits you with the we still need you, get up, and then you are now revived outside the goo. So I don't know how you got out. There's some questions I got there.
Yeah, because you don't really survive well after impalement.
Yeah.
Impalement's not something you just walk away from.
So if
Unless
I remember, I think the goo that you get dropped into, it wants to create kind of goo. So I don't know what's gonna happen there.
Chapter 6, you get to create a toy, and it's just like create a toy. You create it, and then that becomes you. That'd be interesting. A fun little thing.
I think that at a certain point, you got to start asking, what's the end game? Where is this going? But anyway,
I love how
that's just a theory.
We just completely a game theory. No, I love how we just completely tangented off into Poppy's Playtime.
I was trying to stay on topic with you, but you had to like egg it on.
You opened that can of worms for me, dude. But hey, I mean, Poppy's Playtime is currently the biggest thing right now.
Yeah.
For the next, 3 days.
Pretty much. Until Garden of Banban releases its next episode.
And then Requiem comes out.
I still have to ask, though, with the Resident Evil games, they have a start. You know what your purpose is, what you're there for, and then it has an end.
Yeah. Game-wise. Franchise-wise, we're still figuring it out. A little bit. Just a tiny bit.
I mean, each game kind of, wraps up its own personal, story. Yes, there's stuff happening in the universe, but each one it's there's times that I saw both Mark and Jack like kind of looking around like, okay, well, what am I doing? Where am I going? Like what is happening? And they kind of have to just like figure it out,
Yeah.
which I feel as a gamer that's you don't really want your players to ever be having like stop and being like, okay, well, like I don't know what's my goal here. What am I doing? Where am I going? You know?
Yes,
Like
absolutely.
you don't need to hold their hands, but anyway. What are you typing? You look like you're deep in thought.
I am sending you a private message during the podcast real quick.
Is it over Messenger or in the
In the actual Zoom call.
okay.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
But anyway,
Um,
so I just I don't know.
I I could understand when you're doing games by the chapter because I do think the chapter release games, Amanda the Adventurer does it best. Even if they didn't know where they're going between chapters, it doesn't really feel like they had no plan because each chapter does further the story in a progressive way. The first one, you start off in a basement, you're learning about like the cultist TV show and then the monster. The second game, you're at a library, you're uncovering more. And then the third game, you end up at the cultist facility. And then it kind of ends it with a nice little bow. I haven't seen Garden of Ban. I haven't seen anything about it. Um, Poppy's Playtime, I feel like we've said a lot about Poppy's Playtime in the terms of like not knowing really where the direction has been, in my opinion, since kind of three. Because I feel like after chapter three, maybe even partway through chapter three, they were just kind of like, let's keep ramping it up. And it's felt like going chapter one ended like right here in the
Mm-hmm.
roller coaster. Chapter two set us up on the arc, and chapter three should have been this. And then chapter four, five, and I feel like since chapter three, it's just been going like this, but instead of arcing for the dip, it's been bending backwards dangerously.
Yeah.
Because again, yeah, I agree. If every chapter you're just continuously raising the stakes without furthering the plot, you're gonna write yourself into a corner that you're just gonna give a very unsatisfactory ending. So to pull us back on tangent,
Yes.
I have three games. I'm expecting you to pick three games as well that were I'm gonna give to you, and you tell me where you think they would do best in what studio. To kind of get back on the topic of what our main piece was here. So the
Okay.
first one is a game that me and a lot of my friends really wish we had a remake or a remaster to. But what studio do you think would handle Army of Two
So I'm
better
gonna be honest
than
with you.
EA?
I haven't played Army of Two before.
Any of them?
Any of them. I know of them and I've like seen some gameplay, but I have never personally played it. Um.
Army of Two was like my Call of Duty. To jump in as an Army of Two and take on like the Taliban and then the cartel and then the like 40th day mercenary group, it was fun. The chemistry between Salem and Rios was just dynamic.
Mhm.
I never played Devil's Cartel. I never got the chance to get my hands on the game, and then like finding a copy of it for backwards compatibility is like near impossible unless I want to
Right.
shell out 100 and something dollars. But who do you think? Do you want? You said you know of it, so you kind of know that it's like a comedic, battlefield esque war game.
Right.
Bad Company Battlefield, not Battlefield
I,
Battlefield.
I would, and you kind of put this idea in my head. I would probably talk to Dice. Like, I think they have a subsidiary that would probably be better suited, but Dice themselves probably be pretty good because I do enjoy the Battlefield
Campaigns.
games, and like
Because I was
I
gonna
would
say specifically, Bad Company was where it was the more comedic not satire, but comedic war game.
yeah. Um, because when we were growing up, it was Call of Duty had the story, Battlefield had the multiplayer. At a certain point, Battlefield kind of dropped the story altogether.
Yeah, for one or two games.
Um, but I kind of feel like their story is starting to come back,
Yeah,
right?
Battlefield. The last two Battlefield games, in fact, had very phenomenal stories, in my opinion.
And I feel like now Call of Duty's like, well, we have this over the top story, but you really want to play the multiplayer.
Yeah, but
Um, but
I'm
for
gonna
those,
be
I feel like for Army of Two, I feel like it's got to be a company that will value giving it a good story.
yeah, because if anything, Army of Two was a story.
Absolutely.
It wasn't really well known for PvP or anything. It was literally it was a buddy. It was like a buddy cop film.
Hmm.
It's two best friends taking on government conspiracy.
Right. Which uh, I feel giving it to Dice would be best because I don't think that they would put a multiplayer like
Emphasis.
emphasis. Like, yes, it'll be two players playing together, but
Yeah,
I
there
don't
will
think
be a
that they would put it.
PvP.
I don't think that they would do like a massive multiplayer because then that would be something that's literally competing against their own game.
One thing I think they would be able to get away with for a public multiplayer would be 2v2s.
Sure,
Either
but that's
just like
still not a
straight full
massive
on
like multiplayer.
2v2 or 2v2 v2 v2 v2. It's literally squads of 2 up to like a 16 player lobby, so it's like 8 teams of
Maybe,
2.
maybe. Um, but yeah. So I would say Dice. What about you?
That honestly, that was exactly where my mind was at, was like Battlefield Bad Company. Because again, Bad Company helms that like comedic war story and that just wacky dynamic between all the squad mates. I feel like they would be able to capture whether they went in with Salem and Rios again and retold their story, or took the Devil's Cartel route and had two completely new protagonists that just work under the Army of Two company. I feel like they would be able to handle the IP really well.
Hmm. You said you had three games.
I do.
So
All
what's
right.
what's your next one?
Halo.
Do you think that we should take Halo from
Halo
who?
Studios.
Halo Studios? It's literally in their
So
name.
I I don't know if I want to look at this as a generational thing because we haven't seen anything from Halo Studios yet. Halo Studios' first Halo game will be the Combat Evolved or Combat Re-Evolved,
Right.
but 343 Studios, the people that had it from 4, Guardians, Infinite, I'll look at there because you don't touch Bungie. Like the original Halo trilogy put Bungie on the map, in my opinion,
Oh, absolutely.
which just cleared the way for Destiny and Marathon, which I think is the newest game by Bungie.
Is that Bungie?
Yeah, that's Bungie.
Okay.
343's Halo, 4 Guardians and Infinite.
Like, I'm not mad about their how they've been treating Halo. Like, to a certain degree, like I also think that they should let Master Chief be.
Yes, I kind of agree. I feel like 3 was a good bow on Chief. 4, I'm all right with 4. I feel like 4 was a good jump point because it showed another fight that dove deeper into the lore of Halo, because it
Right.
wasn't just about the Covenant and Flood. It was about the people who engineered the Flood, the people that came before you, like
Right.
the Prometheans. It gave you a good focal point to where the story should have went.
Yes.
You had to deal with Cortana going rampant, which was something that was happening in 3 because her AI was still malfunctioning. 5 is where I really draw the line with where I liked 343s. I feel like
Hmm.
they severely dropped the ball on 5. I can't get into 5. I've played it, beat it once. It's the only Halo game that I've only done one playthrough of, never touched the multiplayer, and never went back. I don't like 5. Infinite, I haven't beaten. And it's not for a lack of just not enjoying the story. I really, really love Infinite. I loved its multiplayer. I was heavy in the seasons for the first 4 seasons.
I remember.
But then other games just kind of started building up. I never played enough of the story to finish it, and the story got ruined for me. So I was just like, I didn't want to finish it because it got spoiled.
Right.
The mystery was gone. And I feel like Infinite, I don't know if it was a good conclusion to Chief's story because it does not end. It's still kind of open ended, but it's a good place to stop for right now.
Right.
I'm really, really hoping, and this is again a very biased opinion, as excited I am for Combat Re-Evolved to bring PlayStation into the broader spectrum of potential playmates. I feel like we should have gotten a 3, a remake or an anniversary edition of 3. This is going to be the third version of Halo 1 we're getting. We had Halo 1
Right.
Combat Evolve, Halo Anniversary, now we're getting a remake. Which, yes, a remake isn't necessarily the same story. They've already added the fact that we're going to be getting a whole new story chapters that weren't previously done.
Hmm.
And it makes me hopeful for Halo Studios, which I'm not going to say Halo Studios should have been who it was given to. I would have loved to have seen BioWare take on Halo. BioWare does something really magical with the fantasy genre or sci-fi genre,
Hmm.
and I could have seen them doing a really good narrative Halo, which I know isn't what Halo's about. Halo is a first-person shooter. The story, I want to say, comes second to gameplay. Because when you hear people talk about Halo, it's not typically the story. But I do
No.
think BioWare would have been able to narratively rein in Chief's story.
Yeah, I can see that. Would you like one of mine?
Yeah.
So, I'm going to ask you about something kind of controversial.
All right.
Mass Effect.
I feel like it's a GTA category.
You're saying it's got to be Bioware or nothing?
It got to be Casey Hudson or nothing.
Okay.
I won't say it has to be a certain studio because I mean all 4 Mass Effects are made by BioWare, but Casey Hudson only touched the Golden Trilogy.
I'm going to be honest with you, that was not actually mine. The one I was going to go with. I was just kind of screwing with you on that one. No, my actual one is Dragon Age. And I would argue that
CD Project Red. 100% CD Project Red. If we had
Larian
a
Studios.
Witcher, ooh. Okay. Larian Studios to remake Dragon Age Origins, because Dragon Age Origins played more like a D&D game.
Hmm. Hmm.
Mm. But I would say with 2 and with Dragon Age 2, Inquisition, and Veilguard, they run more like Witcher, and I feel like the narrative choices CD Projekt Red brings would have made a more enriching narrative experience. I do love Inquisition, and I am one of the few that actually enjoyed Veilguard.
Hmm.
But I think CD Projekt Red would do good. I think Larian Studios would be perfect as well. Both are very fuck. It makes it hard because I've never played Baldur's Gate 3. I've played other Larian Studio games like their D&D stuff, but I've never played Baldur's Gate 3, which is everybody's big focal point.
I
That
mean,
Larian Studios
it is
does.
a game of the year game for
Yes.
sure.
It's a game
Um,
of the year game, and it's a
I
game that still hasn't gone on sale after being released for the last, what, 5 years?
yeah,
It's a game that still is popular with people today. People
I
are
would
still
argue
running
that
through.
yes, Larian Studios is known for their D&D, but I think that they are actually better for RPG.
Hmm.
And with like yes, there is kind of like a canonical character, even for like Baldur's Gate. I feel like they would do Dragon Age justice. And I'm not just talking about like remaking the games. I'm talking about them actually taking on either the next one or restarting like
A spin-off in the universe.
restarting the universe. Kind of like what Fable's doing. Where it's a yes, the same kind of names, but it's a whole new thing. Because if I remember
It's a
correctly,
new
Veilguard
Albion.
kind of like destroyed the world.
So, Veilguard. Do you want me to spoil the ending of Veilguard?
Like, sure.
90% of Thetis is gone.
Yes.
Like,
Exactly.
they
So
destroy the
that's what
world, but they reveal in a post-credit scene if you met certain circumstances, you find out that Thetis was already fated to be destroyed. There is a higher power that the entire events of all four games was a retelling of events that have already happened through these oracles. And there's like another looming threat. And then the game ends.
okay. Yeah, I would still argue that I think Larian Studios would be able to handle
I would love to see either or.
not to bash on BioWare um for that. And then in their defense, Mass Effect Andromeda, I don't actually think was fully their fault. I think that
Is
they were just getting the
100%
time.
EA.
It just the time crunch, like attack for sure.
EA ruined Andromeda with the time crunch, wanting it rushed, and forcing them to put out an unfinished product. I think between EA's time crunch and consumer demand.
I mean, I will
Because
argue
again,
that I know
you
that
got to
the
remember the Mass Effect fans are the same people that within 24 hours of Mass Effect 3 releasing stood outside of BioWare Studios and was giving death threats to the head director.
for the ending, yeah,
That forced them to put out a patch that changed the endings and extended it.
yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, the endings kind of sucked,
Yeah,
but
no, I
I
mean a
think the endings
culmination of
also kind of
three
sucked
games.
because of uh pressure from EA. I'm not going to apologize to EA.
No, fuck EA. There goes any sponsorship deals we will ever have with EA. Don't sponsor us. Don't sponsor us. Don't sponsor us.
EA, if you want to sponsor us, we do enjoy some of your games,
I'll do
but
sim shit all
there
day.
it is there has been a lasting bad taste in our mouth when it comes to anything coming from
Which
EA.
is so funny because growing up as a kid, I remember getting
Dude,
so
EA
hyped for
Sports,
anything
uh
EA.
like Need for
EA
Speed.
challenge everything.
Exactly. Loved EA. All right, do you want my next one or you want to go to your last one?
My last one was Fable, which I feel
Oh,
like it could be said the same thing, Larian or CD Project Red.
I I'm gonna hold my tongue on that one. I want to see because a new studio has taken Fable.
Yeah.
I want to see how they handle it because they might actually be the ones that deserve to have uh Fable.
Yeah. 100%.
I mean, granted, they're going from race racing games to this, but
Let's do one final one from you because we're hitting about an hour and a half.
sure. Um, so I was trying to think of what would be a good one, and I this is one that we didn't talk about. Fear.
Oh,
Who would you
God, I
give
don't
fear
know
to?
because
I don't have one. I mean, I kind of do, but who would you give fear to? Because I kind of want to
Visceral
give it to.
Games, the
What was that?
studio Visceral Games, specifically the team that did Dead Space.
The remake or the original?
Either or, because like the remake was equally as good as the original. I feel like the people that did the remake of Dead Space would do a really good remake of Fear. Because when you
Okay.
think about it, Fear and Dead Space kind of hold the same atmosphere.
Right.
Fear is a little bit more fast paced actiony, where Fear was more survival horror. But if you took away the like overbearing soldier aspect of the first Fear and you gave it the more survival horror category, like a rookie, think of it like Leon, a rookie cop going in, dealing with supernatural soldiers and everything, it would create a good survival horror aspect, especially with Alma just stalking you like Mr. X through every corridor and hall. You make Alma more of a threat than just a vision. You would have some you'd have some chemistry there.
So I would I would there's two different studios that I would think. And I'm wanting to make sure I get the right names, which is why I'm not looking at my computer screen.
That's all
But
good. You gave me like a huge nostalgia hit for Fear right now.
Konami.
Like the Silent Hill team, or
Yeah, the Silent Hill team is
uh
one.
Bloober would do really good. Did you
Bloomberg? Is that what you just
Bloober,
said?
Bloober.
Bloober.
They're the ones that did this. They're the ones doing the Silent Hill 2 and Silent Hill 1 remakes. But the games they made themselves, they did Chronos, which is like
Hmm.
a weird mix of BioShock and Dead Space. And they're the
Right.
ones that did Layers of Fear.
Okay. And then my
Which
other
Layers of
studio.
Fear 3 was just announced, by the way.
Interesting. We'll have to talk about that off podcast. My last studio would be the Resident Evil team.
Capcom.
Well, I know it's Capcom, but like, yeah, I feel like either one of them would give a proper tribute or like take care of fear.
I could see that.
Probably more so Resident Evil Capcom
Fuck.
than Konami.
Fuck. I have two more. Like
Oh, okay.
unnecessary. These are unnecessary two more because they
Okay.
have news that just came out relating to them.
Okay.
Since it's been confirmed that Saints Row is probably dead in the
Oh,
water,
yes, me and you had talked about that. Yeah.
who do you think should take over the Saints Row IP? If they were to take over the Saints Row IP instead of leaving it shelved and dead in the water,
I would love for Gearbox to actually like do something with Saints Row.
I feel like Gearbox would have did really good too. I would love to see the studio that did Bully.
Rockstar.
Yeah, dude, just think of the irony. Just think of the irony. The
The
big GTA competitor gets bought out by the GTA studio.
so here's why I don't think that would be a good thing. I don't think Rockstar will actually do anything. I think that they would probably just shelf it. Because why would they put up a game to compete with themselves?
For all the money. Okay, how about the
Okay, so
company
like
that made Sleeping Dogs then? Square Enix.
I think they would take care of it because they're not doing anything with like sleeping dogs either. So unless they are, and I just am not aware.
They're
Uh,
making a movie. I
Besides the movie,
don't know if you know that. It's
I knew
okay.
about
I
the
just
movie.
found out what is it? Substation 8 or Route 8 or something, that indie game that was about the time loop where you're walking through the subway station that was
Uh-huh.
popular a few years back. Did you know that's getting a movie adaptation?
Did you know that Iron Lung got a movie?
No shit. Really? Who stars in Iron Lung? Like,
Troy
who's that
Baker.
being made? Who's that being made by?
It's some indie
Indie
director.
indie director. Has he done anything else before Iron Lung?
Not to this scale, no.
Oh.
All right, jokes aside though, because we're running out of time. Any other game?
Yes, so I said Saints Row. The other one was why is it escaping me right now? Dead Rising.
Dead Rising.
Since Capcom has more or less left Dead Rising dead in the water after 4, even though there's been rumors spreading around about a prequel sequel that takes place in between 1 and 2, where it's Frank immediately after surviving Willamette goes to Hollywood to
Mm-hmm.
film Off the Record.
Okay, I don't know.
Because I think I think Capcom with Dead Rising hit a specific formula that made it not like normal zombie games. Especially when you look back at the old formula of the like time crunch and everything. Dead Rising was a very unique game.
Absolutely. I don't know if anybody else could properly like give the love uh to Dead Rising. Um
I mean, at this point, Capcom's not even giving the love to Dead
yeah.
Rising.
I mean there is a number of games that properly would need like I would love to give like some proper care to, but to answer your question so that way we can end this and then me and you can continue to spout things off as we're hunting down the cartel. Um or whatever we're doing.
Whatever we do after this.
Um who should have Dead Rising? Oh wait. Oh, who's yes, Sim. Uh hang on. I need to get the people who did
While
this.
you look up the studio, I'm gonna reminisce a little bit because it's so weird to think that Dead Rising didn't hit the status of like Resident Evil and other Capcom titles when Dead Rising was featured in so many other games. It was in Left 4 Dead. Frank West has a cameo in Left 4 Dead as one of the survivor writings on the walls in the safe houses. And I mean, Frank West is even in Marvel vs. Capcom
Yeah.
as like a main character, not just a side beat fighter, but he has actual prevalence working with Chris Redfield and stuff.
Okay.
Or Chris
So
and Spider-Man.
so I had to look this up because I wanted to make sure I got the name right. Um, I think the company that should take over and make the next Dead Rising is Dragonami Games, which they're the ones who made Lollipop Chainsaw Repop.
You know, I still have never played Lollipop Chainsaw, and it kind of
Neither have I.
saddens me.
But
Did you
from
know
what I
it's a
know of
James
the
Gunn
game,
game?
I did not know.
Yeah, he wrote the story for that.
That's crazy.
It is.
I would say give it to them.
I was thinking Techland. The people
Techland's more of
behind
a first person. They're the ones who make Dying Light for those
Dying
who
Light and
really
Dead
don't know.
Island.
And Dead Island. Well,
They
not
did Dead
anymore.
Island.
Not
Well,
anymore
yeah,
though.
not anymore. Yeah, it's going to a new studio,
You
which
know
is
what?
what I think one of the things that spurred.
Dambuster Studios. I would say give them a shot at Dead Rising.
Well, everybody,
Yeah.
I think we'll end this episode here. Let us know down below in the comments what studios you would like to see take over other IP franchises. You know, there's a lot of games out there, there's a lot of studios, a lot of potential to see games in a different light. What would be some franchises you would like to see reimagined? Big thank you to everybody who's listening again on any of your podcast listening streaming services like iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. If you're watching the vidcast version, thank you for sitting here watching like me rock back and forth and us just kind of communicate and try not to stare directly into the camera, into your souls, and right into those beautiful, loving eyes. That being said, if you are watching the vidcast version and you want to catch previous episodes, they'll be in the in-screen annotations. We try to upload every Monday. Sometimes we're late. We have busy lives. We are working class people as it is. But if you guys are interested in seeing other things that we do, whether it's like YouTube Let's Plays, skits, all that other stuff, live streams, you can find links to all of our stuff down in the description below. I just reworked all the URLs to make sure they all work, so they should be good, as I had to add Whiskey and Bry in there now that he's making content again. So yeah, we look forward to seeing you next week. Welcome back, buddy. We miss you. That being said, you can catch Whiskey and Bry as the new co-host of the Nerdgasmic podcast, a podcast I put out every Wednesday. Might as well plug that in.
Dude, you've gone through so many hosts with that show.
I have.
I think every season should be a new host with you.
It should. At this
rate.
Unless
Whiskey and Bry manages to stay. Anyway.
So far he's doing good. He's staying.
Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. I strongly encourage you guys, though, if there is something you're like, hey, you know what, I don't agree with you on this idea, let us know, please. Talk to us. Or if you're like me and you're like, hey, you know, I really loved True Crime Streets of LA and Streets of New York, and I would love to see those franchises get remastered. Tell us who you think would be best with those. Or Scarface as well. I know that was my next one. Or Mercenaries. Or any of the dead franchises that we used to love that are just now gone. Please tell us. Let us know. And once again, guys, I'm the BossFoss, and I'm always in charge here.
And I'm RyunnEldred, and I'm the one who's not in charge but does all the work.
Absolutely.
God, this is a company. Holy shit. No!